This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with Violent Gentlemen. I'm glad to say we're joined with the champ, Padraig McCrory. How are you, mate?
Very good morning. Everything's good. We're chilling at the minute, but life is good.
We're 2 weeks past, obviously, the fight now. I'd obviously thrown McKenna on the other day, and it's sort of, obviously, we've been starved of boxing for 18 months. Obviously, you were on the last show in Belfast on the 1st of February. Does it sort of feel like a come down sort of from the fight? You know, do you still sort of going, you know, like I remember waking up the next morning, I was going, well, I'll message Jamie and see if we can put another card on the night, just because we hadn't had it in so long. I was like, give me another go.
Well, firstly, like what an event to come back to. 8,000 people, outdoor venue, with some of the best talent like in Ireland fighting on the card. So it was massive. The come down probably slightly, yeah, because it was like a massive build up, and there's so much going on, like, and now it's over. It's kind of like what's next. So yeah,
It definitely is, and obviously you pick, you know, your biggest fight to date, I would probably say, in terms of obviously not the biggest card you've been on, because obviously in 2019 there was over 10,000 there, but obviously WBC International Silver Champ now. Obviously no belt there, which was sort of strange. Like, I think I remember the press conference, he actually had the belt there, and then the belt wasn't there for the fight. I guess obviously he gets to keep the belt, and probably you'll get another one sent. But is it sort of probably the only really sort of bad thing you can get from it? You couldn't sort of parade the belt to the fans that sort of paid their money and came to watch.
yeah, no, it was definitely it definitely took a wee bit of shine of it. As much as it was all about getting the win, just, but I don't know, like it seems to be like the done thing is the champion brings the belt, and then if he gets beat, he lets the challenger take the belt and kind of like do like the stuff that he's done, and then they give him it back. But the belt wasn't there, and I was a bit disappointed. Like, I was down in the ring and I was looking about, going like, "Where's the belt?" And like, it never came. But apparently it was due to be here today, but it looks like it's going to be Tuesday now. And
it's obviously a good one for the kids to see as well. Obviously a new belt coming, and you know, go alongside your BA Celtic belt as well, and a prized possession in the household.
Yeah, it's the green belt. It's like it's a belt that everyone wants. Like they obviously only a small version, but it's like WBC. It's like for me, it's massive. So I'm looking forward to getting it. I'm looking forward to showing the kids it, and I'm proud of it as well. So yeah.
Definitely is. Obviously, we wouldn't be right if we didn't think of obviously your celebration and probably trying to jump through the ropes in a probably strange fashion. As if you were trying to jump on a motorbike and run away. You know,
it was strange, because like I was kind of like, right, it's over, and then I got like a big surge, and I charged like towards, because I knew like there was loads of fans like over to the left, and I charged towards it, and I was like, if I don't slow down, I'm gonna land fucking outside the ring here. So I tried to slow down, and then I just missed it. But looking back, I was kind of like, oh Jesus, what did I do? But listen, it's all part of the experience, and what a feeling.
Like 2019, you obviously done the running around in circles and then obviously falling down, and this year was obviously the bunk and bull sort of, buffalo bull sort of, jumping in the ropes. You're probably trying to do a Julio Cesar from the Devonish and try and jump out the ring. But it's more wee memories you can sort of add to it. You know, you'll never obviously, for things like your knockouts in the Devonish, running around going mad and feel it's all wee memories they add to the bank, and it's progressing you on. Obviously 4 years of pro now, 12-0, 6 knockouts. You probably couldn't ask for better at this stage.
Yeah, I'm just soaking it all in now. Like, it's just like it's all like, I seen a tweet from Joe, who's like he's very real, like he's one of the best sort of journalists like in Ireland, and he says that I'm in like bonus territory, which I probably am, but like I'm making it look easy at the minute. Like that was due to be like my biggest challenge to date, and like I made it look easy. So yeah, like I'm just soaking it all in, and like I always say that I'm riding the wave, and at the minute, it's a really high wave.
I guess it's nature of you yourself that like you're obviously a big boxing fan and stuff as well, but you never get ahead of yourself. You know, it's nothing phases you, nothing changes you. So, you know, it's probably a fair assessment from Joe to say you're sort of riding a wave because you
Yeah.
haven't come out and says I'm going to be a world champion, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. You're happy to
No.
take the opportunities you're given and show yourself in the ring.
Yeah.
And credit to you, you're not sort of one that'll sort of go online and slate boxers and things like that. So
Yeah.
when you get opportunities, you're respectful in every way you probably should be, and probably a great ambassador for the sport and showing things can be done the right way.
Well, it's not like I don't do anything different like I wouldn't do like inside or away from boxing. Like it's just me. Like I don't change. But yeah, I'm taking the opportunities. If someone's cheeky to me, like I'll give as good as I get. But like I'm not the type of person who holds grudges or who like I'm not like a cheeky or I
Disrespectful,
don't know
sort of.
what it is. I just be me.
Mm. And obviously, you know, I'm guessing obviously seeing fans cheering and stuff again, like probably, you know, you probably forget that sometimes. Like it was 18 months since you sort of had fans sort of chanting your name.
Yeah.
Obviously it's good to obviously hear the reaction of everybody shouting your name afterwards. You know, I think
Yeah.
one of the clips we have, everybody's probably in full voice, and I guess it sort of reminds sometimes what boxing's all about. It's about putting smiles on people's faces.
Yeah. And them and like doing that put a smile like on my face as well. I'm like I say, I'm a boxing fan as well. So it's like it's wonderful. Like it's a great feeling, and especially in the Falls Park. Like I was looking out, and I kind of knew friggin' nearly every person. So it was crazy. Like.
Definitely was, and obviously, you know, I think Jamie's talked about next year potentially 15,000 in Falls Park as well. So, you know, I was talking to him last night, and I was sort of, you know, saying 2021 beats 2019, but how do you obviously do make 2022 better? And I'm saying the only thing you probably do is a world title or two on the card. So, you know, who knows what next year is going to bring?
Well, I'm 33. Who knows like what the next year is going to bring? But it's look next year. They're speaking about 15,000 people and stuff. All I can hope and pray is that I'm still about. I'm still in a good position, and I'm going to be part of it.
Definitely, and obviously, you say you just never know what could happen in 12 months. Obviously, on the performance as well, like Jamie sort of said on record that he obviously thought your performance of the night because you know you were fighting a tough Russian that was very respectful and things throughout fight week and things like that as well. But you know, I know D watched him religiously. I think D watched him, you know, pretty much constant. I think he knew what he ate, what time he went to sleep at. You know, if he ever left the house and things like that, he went so methodical. Were you sort of surprised in a way that you were able to sort of break him down, you know, over the first few rounds and obviously stop him in the fifth?
Well, like I was surprised at his attitude outside the ring, given how intense he looks inside the ring. I thought he was going to be that intense, like at the weigh-ins and like at the presser, but he wasn't. He wasn't. He seems like a real nice guy, but his fighting style is aggression, hard hitting, a come forward fighter, and like relentless. And we had a game plan, and it was just, and I think it worked really well, and I was able to like control the fight from like minute one. I fought at my pace. Uh, I was doing enough like to win the rounds, and I knew that as the rounds went on, like we had a plan to increase the tempo, pick it up, don't go crazy, and then just win the fight.
And like
So yeah,
obviously, I guess in probably some ways being respectful to you, probably as well. He probably maybe felt your power early on, and probably you know that forced him to change his game plan rather than the style he normally had. Where he was sort of a bit more respectful when he did get in close. He was fearful, of obviously, of you connecting with him. So you probably took him out of his game plan very quickly.
yeah, I definitely think there was that sort of like I think it was something there that like he's usually more aggressive. And I do recall hitting him a good solid jab like quite early on, and he started rubbing his nose. Now it's something like he does anyway, just from watching him fight. But I knew that he felt the power like another jab, so it slowed him down a bit. But it was probably a good thing for him, because when he did start to come in and be more aggressive, it left him much more open the shots, which told like in the fourth round, when I broke his nose, he became slightly desperate, and then he walked on a shot and he ended up freaking on his bum. Do you know what I mean? So maybe it was a good thing, like for him, because if he had been more aggressive, it's going to leave him more open the shots, and I probably would have got it done slightly earlier.
Yeah, but even sooner, and obviously that's probably been your style sometimes of obviously getting a fighter to walk onto a punch. You've had obviously highlight reel knockouts where sort of they've just left themselves open, and that's it, bingo. But it's sort of in a way it was a sort of like a freak sort of cut, obviously along sort of the side of the nose, and it looked as if it's sort of been sliced by a knife. It was probably just the uppercut on the way up, sort of just come across the nose, and it looked like sort of it'd been in like a street fight sort of thing, just a sort of strange sort of way to get a cut for it to stop.
Yeah. I listen. The uppercut was a shot. I think you were actually like in the gym a few times and seen some of the shots like we're working on, and that was definitely one of them. The shot, like I whipped it in, and like the speed on it, like as well. I think like I just caught him like in the right spot. And then I looked at him, and his reaction was quite negative. So I kind of knew that like it was the beginning of the end. But I needed to be careful and precise on how I did it, because he like as I say, he's a good fighter. He's a seasoned 10-round fighter. He was coming off a big win against a fighter who was 27-0. So I needed to be on point. He can punch, so yeah, like I think I controlled it. Once I had him going, I probably could have put the pressure on it a wee bit more, but looking back, like I'm kind of glad, like without stopping him through a shot, which is probably like something that I probably would like to do. But listen, I won the fight. I got a stoppage, and against a guy who a lot of people thought probably would beat me.
Yep, and obviously it's not something that we were going to think. Obviously, every time you post up fight news, it's like hashtag and obviously the next number along. It's obviously good in a way that obviously you get your 6th stoppage as well, because obviously that brings your knockouts up. Because sometimes I guess when people look at records, in box rec and stuff like that, they look at people's records and they go, "Oh, I can't punch." Whereas when you're bringing your knockout record forward as well, the likes of your David Lemieux, your Daniel Scardina, it's more appealing to TV audiences whenever they see you've got knockout power there as well.
Yeah, listen. I'm very disappointed that it's not more. Actually, I think I had another 2 or 3 of them like on the ground as well, which I probably should have got done. But yeah, I think it's good that it's 50%, but I am disappointed that it's not more.
Definitely, obviously, definitely helps in some way. So, sort of looking forward, then, is there any sort of talk since, obviously, and when you potentially maybe back out, or is it just sort of a case of sort of waiting a few weeks, make sure there's no injuries, and then obviously sit down and have a talk?
Yeah, well, I had to get a bit of glue on my eye, so like I was cut, so I think I pushed me out or like suspended for 28 days or something like that. So there's been nothing yet, but I've been speaking to Jimmy Cullen recently, and going forward, I don't know, like I'm in a decent position. Someone could like come look at me, and if it's the right fight, then we'll take it, or vice versa. But nothing yet. I've took a bit of time off. As we're speaking, I just got a text from my S&C coach, who's looking me back in on Monday. So yeah, that's us back. Like we're back at it like this weekend, or like the start of next week. And then hopefully just get a phone call and then that's us.
I guess obviously now with a WBC belt there, it sort of gives you a bit more leverage and obviously more appeal and bigger fights and stuff as well. So, you know, Jamie's sort of guided you well, you know, throughout obviously your career so far. So he's obviously got you fights at the right times. Obviously tried to make other fights that just haven't come through. So, you know, I guess when you keep delivering, you've delivered now. So now it's like next stage. Where do we go next? You know, I know you're not one. I know you're not one for sort of call-outs and things like that, but sort of, you know, next step up WBC is Petrov Ivanov. He's international belt. Actually, one way I actually probably would like to see is obviously you and Little Lever's meat cleaver, Jack Cullen. I think that'll be a good dust up.
Yeah, I think that's a good fight. Jack Cullen's coming off a massive win, and I was very, very impressed with him. He beat Yaldrum, who was so close to beating Durrell, and then fought Canelo, so it's a massive win for him. He seems like a nice lad. He's I know people like that know him as well, and have nothing but like good things like to say about him. Completely different style from what I fought like in my last fight, but I think it's a good fight to make. He's had 2 fights now from Matchroom. He delivered last time out. I don't know if Eddie Hearn needs someone for Jack Cullen next. I'd be happy like to step up.
Yep, exactly. And sort of other ones, you know, I know you were initially ranked in the British rankings, obviously with the box rig sort of thing. But Lennox Clark, obviously British and Commonwealth champ, but I think he's rumored to fight Zach Chelly next. Sort of the strange thing sort of the box rig is obviously after the fight. I'm not sure if they made a mistake with the belt, but they obviously had brought your way up to 40th in the rankings, and sort of since you've dropped down again. Do you sort of keep an eye on the rankings quite a lot and sort of look to sort of where you're at, or just whatever?
Not overly, but after the fight, I did check and I took a decent jump. And then from it, I seen that they changed it up, and I've dropped back down again. But box tracks, it's box track. I think like the government bodies have their own rankings. I don't really know how it works, but it's only numbers at the end of the day. Listen, like obviously, like you want to see yourself way up the list, but I can't change that. All I can do is get ready for fights and try and move up the ladder.
It's one of them things. Is the one that matters the most. Never worry about the rankings; they'll look after themselves.
Yeah. Like as far as I'm aware, like the guy that I just beat, like one of his last opponent is going to fight Colin Johnson, which looks to be like a WBO like
high ranking belt.
Yeah, like a big belt. So he's coming off a defeat. So fights happen. Like fights get made, and I was sitting in the house one day, I get offered freaking David Lemieux. So anything can happen.
Definitely is, and I guess obviously it's, you know, like I guess the more sometimes you start getting the bigger fights, probably less opportunities to fight happen. Obviously, as you're sort of coming up, sort of 2018, 2019, it was sort of nearly every card sort of get an opportunity. Whereas now you sometimes probably have to realize that you may have to sit out a card because you're in a bigger fight.
That's it. Like as much as like you're moving up the rankings, it can become slightly harder to make fights, because there's loads of different things that get made. There's like spaces on cards for big fights. Belfast is littered with people in the same position as me. And then cost, obviously, like the higher profile you get, the more belts you hold and higher ranking you hold, like you're looking more money, and then with COVID and restrictions at the minute, like logistics as well. Do you know what I mean? So I want to stay as busy. I want some big fights. And I want to leave it up up to my team, but I'll just keep taking over and making sure that I'm ready, for when that call comes.
Definitely, and I'm sure you probably want to be out once more before the end of this year. You obviously have a new arrival at the start of 2022 definitely. As well, so you'll have to buy a pram.
Baby number 2 is coming early January.
Number 3.
Oh, frig me! Baby number 3 is coming.
You're forgetting how many kids you have now.
She's 2 next week. So they need nappies. They need nappies. Get me a feed. My kids need nappies.
I think we're having a malfunction here with it. Oh, there we go. We're back. I was having a malfunction. Hello. How are you, Kisha?
Say hi.
Hello. That's you getting told off. Obviously, back to daddy duties as well. Obviously, you're out of camp and back to daddy duties, probably the toughest fight.
I was back to work 4 days after my last fight, and I was back with my kids the next day. I actually had a couple of days off, and I had a few nights out, like with friends and family. So back to normal life. Things don't change. I gotta get back to work. I gotta pay my bills. I gotta be a daddy. I gotta be a husband. So nothing changes.
Definitely, obviously, probably the stage you're sort of getting to now, you'd probably, I guess, obviously, it's hard to know, because if you were offered, obviously, the chance of being a full-time athlete, what more could we probably see out of you? But probably knowing the person you are that we've become friendly with, you probably wouldn't be happy sitting about the house with more time sometimes, because you want to be out and socialising and everything else.
Yeah, but of course, part of a training camp, wrestling recovery is massive. So ideally, I would love to be a full-time boxer. I think it's the idea. If you look at that card, there was 5 or 6 like big fights. I'm probably the only one that's not a full-time athlete. It's not ideal, but I train and I apply myself like a full-time athlete. So I work to the best of my ability. And ideally, I would love to be a full-time boxer, and I would love to get a sponsorship on board that would allow that to happen. But for now, I just keep working.
Definitely. Hopefully, obviously, I know Everlast been signing quite a few boxers and things like that. So hopefully, Everlast are obviously looking at yourself and hopefully a big sponsorship package or maybe another potential sponsor along there. It's got loads of money once they get behind the champ.
Yeah, listen, anybody that can help me progress, then it's a massive help. But as I say, I'm not going to let it stop me. I'll keep doing my best. But yeah, ideally full time. But no,
I'll just have to see how it goes. Definitely is. Well, look, obviously we know you're obviously quite busy with the kids and stuff there as well, and probably it's getting to lunchtime and stuff like that, so you probably have to do the cooking duties and stuff as well. But obviously, thanks for getting to catch up with us. Hopefully, it's not too long before you're sort of getting some fight news again. I guess with COVID still going on as well, even in Belfast, like you can have a show outside, but we're getting to the time of the year where the weather's bad. So for indoor shows, I think they haven't caught up as much as the rest of the UK yet. I think Stormont sort of need to get their finger out and realise that boxers have livelihoods and everything else, and fans need to see the sport. So hopefully it's not too long before they catch up with the rest of the UK.
Let's hope so. Let's hope. Obviously, when safe to do so. Boxing's back. I think we're in a decent place now with the vaccination rollout and like stuff like that. But I'm hearing of shows going to be announced soon. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone back boxing. Clubmates like Owen O'Neill, Conor Quinn, Ryan Lennon and stuff and so forth. I'm looking forward to supporting them and helping them out, and then getting myself back. Lewis as well. Hopefully has a big fight soon. So yeah, let's hope and pray that boxing is back and for good.
Definitely is. Well, Padraig, listen, obviously, thank you once again for getting a catch up, and I'm sure we'll catch up again soon.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
All right, cheers. Take care. Thanks. Bye bye. Bye bye.